coming on right here. So go and clear that out for you guys and say hi to everybody on YouTube land.
Good morning, YouTube people.
Yes.
Woohoo.
We'll get you squared away. Here we go. Stand by.
All right. Good morning, and welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show. Yes, the original one, Benny. Radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. And guess what?
Yeah.
I'm Loretta Brown. Who knew?
Isn't that the best feeling, though, to be the original one of anything? I mean, I am, you are, so that's the best. It's the best feeling.
You know, people ask me, and like, because my show was called the Loretta Brown Show, and it's still out there, the Loretta Brown Show. And then, I don't know, we were having trouble with those L's one day, weren't we? Like,
oh man, I don't want to go backwards to that show. I feel like we took forever to get through it. But we have those days, right? Very, very natural.
We've had other names like Benny in the Mouth or something. I don't know. We did some.
I forgot about that one too. I'm Benny, you're the mouth. Let's just make sure we get that right. Okay. So I don't want to be the same.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we are starting the day today with a wonderful guest. I'm only going to say a few things before I bring her on because guess what? She's a real astrologer. I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. And Susan, I'll introduce you in just a moment. But for everybody out there, welcome to February. Welcome to all kinds of new energies and new things going on. And I am the owner, Loretta Brown. I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area for the last 27 years. We're still out and about doing our thing, trying to help people out. Quick announcements. I do have a Reiki One class coming up on Saturday, February 12th, and it is open to anybody, the curious, the people who are feeling the strong heart pull to do some healing work or to just improve your own health. I really believe everybody should learn Reiki One. You can sign up for that at schedule.reikioasis.com, and every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Sunday meditation with Loretta. It's just come to the oasis, you know, get a nice little whatever, you know, get, you know, Betty, those hugs, you know.
We love them, right?
We do.
Because why? What do we always say? One size fits all.
That's right. Okay. It really does. So you can, don't worry if you can't be there at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I record everything and just send it out to you and you can listen to it anytime you want. And yes, men are welcome. I'm only saying that because I had a client ask me if she could have her husband listen in. I said, yes, of course. And the kids and the dogs love it too. I don't know. I have one client who says she can't go to sleep unless she hears my voice. I don't know what that means. Down they go.
I think that's adorable.
5, 4, 3. Anyway, we're not going to do that. Betty, your hat.
Yes.
I love your hat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I broke it out. It rarely sees the light of day.
Yep, I see it.
I'm kidding. It's out all the time. It's my latest and greatest.
I love it. Anyway, thank you to my Patreons. I am a listener-supported show, and from my heart to yours always, lots and lots of love and blessings and gratitude, because your support, your energy, your intention put into this, your heart put into this, helps this go out on the airways for many, many people to benefit. And of course, that's what we're all about. Busy month, astrologically, like I said, I'm not going to say much. Oh, I do need to say this before I get too far into this. We are going to open the lines today. Oh yeah, this is a show of magical astrology happenings. Astrology Zone with Susan Miller. She is my amazing guest. She has very graciously agreed to take a question. You're going to want to get on the lines right away. I'll give you the number in a moment. You will have to have your day of birth, your month of birth, where you are on planet Earth, if you are on planet Earth, because who knows? And maybe we have callers from the planets. That could be exciting.
Unless you're out of this world, you have a really good like cell phone plan. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
I don't know. I saw that Elon Musk, put out his new he's got a new phone coming out that might be connected to Starlink. Who knows? I'll be like, mother, please come get me. You left me on the wrong planet,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
you
into
never
that.
know. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, you'll also need to have a very specific question for Susan. Um, please don't be so general, like, well, what's coming up for me or
Yeah.
whatever. Please have a very specific question about love or money or relationships or something,
Yeah.
that's meaningful.
Love
So
works
those,
because it's the love month, so that's perfect if everyone's kind of in the same thing there. But it doesn't matter. That's just me.
yeah. So I'll give out the numbers. You can call in anytime. I'm going to talk to Susan for just a little bit before I bring people on, but the numbers are 1-888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. And do I need to say those again, Benny, or do you
Sure,
think?
why not?
Oh, okay. The numbers are the
Right. Now it's
la
more
la la
official.
la.
Yeah,
Okay, the
now it's more
numbers
official.
are 1-888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. You're going to be calling in. Yeah,
Crushed it.
boom. Yeah,
Crushed
thank you. You're going to be calling in for a question with the internationally recognized and respected Susan Miller. And she is the founder, originator, creator of Astrology Zone. And believe me, I've been a follower of yours forever, sitting at your feet going, how does she do it? Right? How does she do it? So I do want to mention one thing before I bring you on. I'm kind of rocking and rolling myself under the energies because February really kicked off with all kinds of stuff. We had Venus go direct last Saturday. We had this new moon. Then we had the Lunar New Year of the Tiger, which I'm looking forward to. Really, really, yeah. And then we also celebrated Imbolc, right? Which a lot of people are like, what's that? Well, it's a Celtic holiday, and it's actually the marker halfway between the winter solstice and the spring solstice. And that happens somewhere between February 1st to 2nd, but it really marks the beginning of spring because we have the stirring of the seeds, within the potentiality of what's going to come. And so there's that, oh, in Ireland, it's the beginning of lambing season for those that care about those things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting stuff. And then February has so many, many good things. So with that, I'm going to introduce my guest. Whew. My guest today is Susan Miller. She is the
Okay.
phenomenally successful and respected, internationally known astrologer, columnist, entrepreneur, publisher, pioneer of the internet. She's the goddess of astrology. That's my name for her. She's the founder of Astrology Zone, which debuted in December of 1995, I believe.
Yeah.
And her site, and she really is considered an authority in the field of Western astrology. Her site is read avidly by, I'm going to say, over 11.5 million unique readers a year. She has monthly forecasts on her website and on her app. You should get her app. Just get it. Daily Horoscope Astrology Zone plus more by Susan Miller. Just get it. It's called an app. It goes on your phone. You guys know how to do that, okay? And readers say that they love Susan's warmth and compassion, as well as, hear this, her accuracy and her comprehensive reporting of current planetary trends. She's the author of, I think, 12 books. She does the famous The Year Ahead Astrology Calendar, which I don't have this year, but maybe next year. Yeah. And she writes monthly columns
You
for.
give me your address.
I will give it to you. Yes. She writes monthly columns for 6 international fashion magazines. She's the go-to astrologer. She's on Good Morning America, The View, Access Hollywood. She's in the Huffington Post, the Wall. Are you getting the idea? Yeah, you getting the idea. Yeah, she's the one. And she has brought so much contributions and achievements to the field of astrology. From my heart to yours, I'm so grateful you're on my show. I'm so thrilled with what you have accomplished in your life. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's thrilled.
Yeah.
And 27 years for your business. See, I'm only 26 years.
Oh, I'm older than you.
You beat me. Right. Wow.
Well,
That's
you know, there was things going on back at that time, right?
wonderful things. The start of the internet. It was so exciting, and things were changing. People were more open to different ideas. Publishing exploded because the internet really started around the middle of the 90s, and that's when everybody got a home computer.
Yes.
It was really, really exciting.
Things have changed so much, haven't they?
Well, now we see the downside of the internet, but I think through public discussion and, you know, different tactics to fix it, I think we will.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Because we
go ahead.
It starts with the wanting.
Yeah, it starts with wanting, and you can jump in anytime. I'm all excited to have you, so I'm like bubbling over, you know, my crazy Aries self, right?
Oh,
So,
I love Aries. My daughter is an Aries. Yeah.
ah,
They are so self-motivated, and what they say they do. And this year is a wonderful year for Aries for their friendships. They're going to really expand the circle of friends and grow deeper with the friends they have. It's really exciting. And then in the middle of the year, wow, that's when they get into the best year of their life. From May 10th to the end of October, I'll make it easy to remember. Around Mother's Day, around Halloween, that period, Jupiter, the giver of gifts and luck, will be in Aries for the first time in 12 years.
oh,
It will be the cornucopia, everything you want: love, money, health, travel. Yeah, travel. Remember that? I haven't been on a plane in 2 years, but I'm going to get on a plane 2 weeks from now because I've been triple vaccinated, and, you know, I have my N95, and, you know, I'm all ready. I miss travel the most. I do miss travel. Do you?
yes, I love to travel. I've been traveling the world since I was 15. It's part of my dharma, I think. But yeah, I take groups of people to sacred sites like Egypt. And
Really?
mhm,
I had no idea, Loretta.
yeah.
Wow.
And we do special spiritual things, you know, and of course we have a private yacht. We only do it like that, but yeah, of course. Yeah, we only did it like that. Um, I'm trying to figure out which question to ask first because I have two questions that I really want to know. Number one, I would love to know
Yeah.
how you became an astrologer. Let's start there. And then I would love for you to, I know we're in the second month of the year, but I would love for you to, if you could, to just kind of give a synopsis of
Mhm.
2022 for,
It's here, by the way.
yeah. Mhm.
I didn't even talk about 21 because I knew 21 was going to be the twin of 2020, and it was. But this is different this year. This year is this good year. There's a lot of good things happening. Yeah. So don't be afraid to ask that. How I became an astrologer. I was born with a terrible birth defect that no doctor could figure out what was wrong with me. They didn't have the equipment like we have today. And back then, if they couldn't figure it out, it was your fault. You were making it up. You need a psychiatrist. You don't want to go to school. To be unjustly accused is the worst thing in the world. So my heart goes out to prisoners who are there and never committed the crime. Finally, my mother was an astrologer. We don't have her anymore. I miss little mom so much. But she said to me, when you're 14, this will go away. Well, of course, she was my mother. She was hoping it would just evaporate. Somehow I would outgrow it. That isn't quite what happened. When I was 13 and 11 months, I got another terrible attack. I would get them maybe once or twice a year. And I would be in excruciating pain in my left leg. And I would go to bed and I couldn't move an inch until it was healed. And it would take 6 to 8 weeks. And I never knew when it was coming. Never. And Well, so that was hard. And I got it when I was 13, 11 months. And this time they took me to the hospital with an ambulance. And my father had been collecting names. He had an Italian specialty grocery store. I'm half Italian. So all the nurses would come into the store to get the prosciutto, mozzarella, fontina, all the beautiful things he sold, the pears and the apples. And, he had beautiful produce. And he was collecting names. And he finally settled on the chief of staff of the Hospital for Joint Diseases, part of now NYU Langone, which is one of the top hospitals in New York. And I went in and I loved my doctor. He didn't blame me, didn't accuse me of anything. He said, let's do tests for a week. I'm going to put you in the hospital. We're going to just test. And at the end of that week, he said, I can't figure this out. And I said, well, it's something thick like chocolate syrup falling on my knee. It's just like chocolate syrup. Well, they found out I was bleeding internally, and blood is probably the closest thing to chocolate syrup.
Oh my.
But I was in the hospital 11 months. And during that operation, they had to tourniquet me so tightly that I lost all feeling and control from the knee down. I couldn't wiggle my toes. I couldn't feel anything. And I had a drop foot. So doctor said, don't worry, you're only 14. I can get that back with a lot of physical therapy. But first we have to redo your circulatory system. So that's why I was in for 11 months and I had all these surgeries. Then I went home and I did homeschool. I mean, all the way through this. I did homeschool in the hospital. I didn't want to lose any time. I had skipped the 8th grade, and people say things that are obvious, but yet wrong. Like, oh, you could take a year off. No, that was hard to do. I'm not going to take a year off. So I studied at home. The Board of Ed works with kids like this. And I graduated and then went to New York University. My father said major in business, so I did. He said, you'll always work. And that sounded good to me. And I did graduate with honors. So I had a very strange childhood, but my mom knew astrology and I begged her to teach me. And she kept saying, no, 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 no. Month after month, I asked her, and I said, look, I'm going to go through all this physical therapy. I want to know if there's a rainbow at the end. Is there a good outcome? She said, well, I'll read your chart. I said, no, I want to read it. And she kept saying no until I wrote to the editor-in-chief of Horoscope magazine. And I didn't hear anything. But one day my mother walked in the living room and said, did you write to Horoscope magazine? She's holding it. And I said, I did, but they never answered me. But how do you know I wrote to them? How do mothers know everything? And she said, well, I think you're in one of the letters to the editor. They had a section where you could ask a question and they would do a deep dive into your chart. And I knew my time of birth. I knew where I was born. I knew everything, all the pertinent information. So I had sent it to the editor-in-chief. I said, what did she say? She said, well, I haven't read it yet. Why don't we read it together? When you ask an astrologer any question, it's like being a detective. She talked about good family support, distinguished doctor was showing up in my chart, lives in a big city, access to facilities, great attitude of the patient, me, but also the aspects to health. And at the end, she said, we think you will walk again, because I had a brace up to my hip and 2 crutches. I lived in a 2-story brownstone walk-up. And I said, Mama, she used words I don't understand. They're astrological terms. You have to teach me. She said, but you have your answer. And then I just smiled like this. And she said, oh no, I know what you want to do. You want to check the editor-in-chief. I'm like, of course I do. Oh, Mamma mia. She said, all right, I will teach you, but you must study 12 years or you won't be any good. And you must never tell anybody you're studying while I'm teaching you. And you never read a chart unless I'm in the room until I tell you you're ready. And I loved her. She said, I don't know if you're going to follow that. I said, I am. Where am I going to go? I don't have any friends. I'm not in school. I'm not going to read anybody's chart. I had a sister I still do, who ask me questions all the time. But I also had my grandma upstairs and my 3 aunts on the 3rd floor. And they would always say, okay, you could do me. And my uncles would come over because my grandmother had 7 children. So there was always a lot of people. You know, I had lots of aunts and uncles. So I had lots of people to practice on. And my mother was the German side of my family. And she was Alexa Hente, you know, but in such a warm and loving way. We wouldn't just talk about astrology. We would talk about philosophy, why things happen, or how people create some of their own problems. That's shown in the 12th house, you know, and just, I said, no, people don't create their own problems, Mommy. She said, no, they do all the time. Kidding? Yeah. And she had these beautiful big blue eyes. I looked exactly like her, except she had blue eyes. Otherwise, we were like twins, you know, and I think I had more of my father's coloring, but my mother's face, you know. She had chestnut hair. I have more like brunette, darker. But I'm accredited. That's important. The International Society of Astrologic Research is one of the 2 big clubs. The other one is the National Council for Geocosmic Research. And they give classes to people. They're all over the map. You probably have one near you if you're listening. And so one is ISAR, ISAR. That's the one I'm accredited, the International Society of Astrologic Research, or NCGR, the National Council for Geocosmic Research. They're in your city or very close, and you can go to club meetings, or you can go to the conventions. Those are my favorite, where it's like a Berlitz experience. You're just soaked in astrology. You can go to any class you want. You meet people. You have lunch with astrologers. It's a lot of fun. They always have a track that's for beginners, and it's fun. You make friends from all over the country, sometimes all over the world. So I highly recommend doing it that way.
What an amazing story.
And I do walk. I can't wear heels. It's the only thing that bothers me, because if you can't wear heels, you can't wear a gown. It looks weird. I'm not tall. I'm 5'3". So I wish I could, but I have a leg. They had to save the leg. So, and they have to save me. That's the most important part. So I'm okay with that. You know, I'm happy. And that I was able to have 2 children with an internal bleeding problem is a miracle. I did have tremendous problems doing it. And in my life, I've had 40 blood transfusions, but now I'm good. I'm good. I know how to take this little guy, this little leg, you know, and we're friends. And the other leg helps him.
I love how you talk about it. What an incredible story, Susan. And the love really comes through, you know.
My mother was so good. You know, if you're going to see a patient in the hospital, anybody listening, always wear a vibrant color dress or a sweater or something. Don't wear black. Don't wear brown. Something cheerful. My mother would walk in and she would say, Susie, when we break you out of jail, which was the hospital, you'll be able to travel. You'll have pretty dresses. You'll have so many shoes lined up against the wall. You'll say, which shoes will I wear today? I remember her exact words. Remember, I was 14. She said, you'll go to parties. I could never wander far from home. I couldn't go to camp. I couldn't go away anywhere on any trip, even with a friend, with their family, like my children do. Sometimes another family would say, come on, let me take Diana, let me take Chrissy with us. But I couldn't do that. I had to stay home because I could have an attack and I never knew when it was coming. So here she's painting a picture of what's to come. And I remember saying to her, I mean, I was really, really sick and things were bad. And they didn't even know if I'd get to keep the leg. And I said, Mama, I'm in the middle of the ocean in high seas. It's dark. I'm on a raft. I have no idea where land is or which direction it is in. And that's how I feel right now. And she said, you will make it to land, and all of us will help you get there. And once you get there, to help you even more. But she was always so positive. Both of my parents were. My father couldn't come and see me because he was just so sad about the whole thing. So he would go to Hunts Point to get all the fruits and vegetables for his store every morning, and he had to pass the hospital. And my bed was next to the window. So every morning at 5 a.m., and you know how they wake you up, temperature timed every morning, you can't sleep in a hospital, forget it. But I had a big red scarf, and he would get out of his truck, take his hat off, and wave to me, and I would wave back with my big red scarf. And we kept it up for 11 months.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
So you can communicate with your family in different ways,
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little station break. But before we do that, this is Loretta Brown. My amazing guest today is the internationally known Susan Miller. She's an astrologer. She does Astrology Zone. And we are taking callers. You can call in to ask Susan a question. Yeah, you'll need to have your birthday, your month and day, and a question. The numbers are 1-888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. We're going to take a station break, and boy, when we get back, so much more to talk about, especially what's coming up in 2022. All right.
All right, all clear, ladies, and we're still live on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube. Susan, your story. Oh my gosh.
It was real, but it's come out okay. It's good.
Well, you're here. What a beautiful blessing. You're here. I gotta ask you, so you still have this goes on for your whole life? Like if you have
the veins that gave me trouble. I had a terrible injury in August this year, and I fell on the bad leg in a garage.
Oh.
The sidewalk went down 7 inches with no sign, no little stripe, no nothing. And the guy said to me, everybody falls down right there. Even my mother. I said, well, isn't that a sign? We should put up a sign. But I had to even hire a nurse. I couldn't move an inch in the bed. Here I was back to the way I was as a kid. And the nurse was changing the sheets with me in the bed. And, you just learn to deal with what is, and you're realistic. And I knew the drill. I knew the exercises. I didn't need physical therapy. I knew exactly what to do because it's been drilled into me. Yeah. But, when you've had something, you always have to take care of it.
Yes. Yeah.
There's always, I say, going back to the doll hospital, get a little part. Like,
I love the way you talk about stuff. I love the way you talk about stuff, especially like, when you talk about the planets and it's like they're people.
I talk to them. They're little people that talk to me, and I have to crack the code of what they're trying to say. Everything is done with math. I want to really make that point. It is not anything psychic. It's just watching the cycles. But there's cycles within cycles, like little Russian dolls. So, we have big cycles that last for centuries, and then smaller. And every time there's a conjunction, it's the start of a cycle. Wow. So we have to watch those.
And I'm going to hold you to that, Susan, because we got to come back on the air here.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to get one more caller for you, Loretta and Susan, and then I'll send it on the chat here, too, for you in just a second.
Sounds good. All right.
All right, stand by.
Welcome back to the original Loretta Brown Show with me, Loretta Brown. You can find out more about me at ReikiOasis.com. And, of course, these shows are archived. Oh, yes, they are. You can download them and listen to them over and over again. or put them on continuous play like my daughter in Hawaii does so she can hear her mom's voice. Well, never mind. Anyway, they are archived at the 1150 KKNW archives. And of course, we're on Podcast One and iTunes, Spotify, Audible, and we're all over the place. YouTube. Yeah. My guest today, Susan Miller, internationally acclaimed and recognized astrologer. Yeah. It's like I need a bigger title for you. And please, go to astrologyzone.com, get all signed up, and get her app. Yep, you can go. It's on app.
Google and Apple, both.
Yeah.
And I have a free version. So all your listeners should get it. Just put in Susan Miller and you'll see me in a white blouse. Yeah. We had to put my photo on there because people were pretending to be me. And just look for my face. I'm smiling in a white blouse. And you put in Susan Miller, I come up first. And you'll get your free copy of my app. And it's forever free. Or you can go deeper and get longer forecasts and all my essays for $1 a week, $4.99 a month. So less than a cup of coffee these days.
It's a bargain, and I have to tell you that Susan really has the very best, and she spends a lot of time to bring this information to you in her research. We were talking in the break that it's all about math, and I think it's important for people to understand that. Yeah,
it's cycles, mathematical cycles. That's what it is.
Yeah. So I would love to do, I don't know how fast you can do this. Can you go through 2022?
Try to take as people as possible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Benny, let's take a caller.
Sure. And we've got Polly on. She's calling in from Oregon, and her birth date is 5/23 of 61. So it's May 23rd of 61. All right. We got to put in the information. And Polly, welcome to the show. What is your question?
Oh, yes. I was wondering what the forecast is for love.
Ooh.
Now you are May 23rd. You're right on the cusp. You could be a Gemini. You could be a Taurus. Do you know which it is by the time of day? Have you ever done your chart?
Yes. I was born at 11:11 a.m. And I consider myself more of a Gemini.
11:11 is angels. Oh, wow.
Every time.
So are you a Taurus?
No, I believe I'm a Gemini.
Okay. And are you working in communication?
No, I'm a hairdresser. Well, I guess that's communication.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, hairdressers are all of our psychiatrists. They give us lots of good advice. Well, this year is your big career year. Well, at least at the first 5 months. Then after Mother's Day, when Jupiter is in Aries, it's May 10th. I don't know if that's exactly the day Mother's Day is, but it's easy to remember. The whole bulk of the year will be social. You're going to meet so many new friends. And I want you to get out and about. And you're going to be feeling happy because the first part of the year, until May 10th, is all about honors, awards, and achievement. The little Geminis are going to have their name in lights. I'd like you to do some publicity. Is that possible? Maybe, somehow think of a good story you could tell, a newspaper or magazine. I bet you could even write it because Gemini is born with really good communication skills. But then the middle of the year is when things get romantic. I have to say to you and all the listeners, Valentine's Day this year is really sweet. Venus and Mars love to be together. And when they are, we call them the cosmic lovers. Their job when together is to set off the sparks of love. This year, they're meeting, sometimes we have to wait 2 years for this to happen. They're meeting on February 16th. And on February 14th, they're only a half a degree apart. So that's like, I'm happy if they're 5 degrees apart. A half a degree is even better. So it's in Capricorn in your sexy, affectionate sector, where you physically demonstrate happiness and and love. I would say if you don't have someone, get some of your friends and go out. Nothing will happen if you stay home. This is such a nice night. The moon will be in Leo, and that's luxury. Go to a nice restaurant that one night you've really been wanting to try, and go with a friend or two, and just, you never know if someone sitting at the next table is in the same boat you are, is not going out with anybody, but didn't want to cook that night and wanted to experience something wonderful. So, no, I think you have a really good forecast. And Jupiter goes back into Pisces in November and most of December until the 20th of December. And then your career heats up again, right in time for holiday. You could have holiday hairstyles. You could do trends in color. Oh my gosh, there's so many things you could do. And then it goes back into Aries for about 5 months. You have a long trend of fabulous socializing. You have it all. You have the socializing and the career. Oh
I feel like I have it all.
You. Wow.
Susan, when you were talking about Mars and Venus being like half a degree apart or whatever, like on Valentine's Day, I had this image of, when you're watching a movie and you're like, their mouths are so close and you're like, would you just kiss already? Right?
Venus longs to be with her lover Mars, and she can only usually look at him with her binoculars from across the star-studded sky and wave to him, and he waves back. But because the universe sends them on such different assignments, Mars has a 2-year cycle around the sun, and Venus has 18 months. So it's not quite in sync. So we really have to celebrate when they're together. Now, they're going to be together in Capricorn. Next month, March 6th, they come back in Aquarius, and that's even better for our little Gemini who just called.
Yes.
So
that's wonderful.
We not only have it once, we have it twice this year. That's extraordinary. Oh, there's so many sparkly aspects this year. You'll see as I talk to different people.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Thanks, Polly, for joining the show. Let's give out the number. We can take probably a couple more callers, too, and we'll load them all up for you. So it's 888-298-5569 or 425-373-5527. And we'll take now Spencer calling in from the Shoreline area. That's in Washington State. And his birth date is February 5th of 1967. Is that right, Spencer?
That's correct.
Cool.
Thanks for taking my call.
I love your name. It's so distinguished. I love the name Spencer. Oh, you should be an actor or something.
Well, happy birthday, Spencer. Happy birthday coming up. Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you so much for Hey, I have had a couple of difficult few years with work and health and relationship. My central question is, what can I do to make my situation better?
Well, the good news about this year is Aquarius is going to make a lot of money. Wait till you see March. Oh, I should mention the luckiest day of the year is March 5th, when Jupiter meets with the sun. And that's when the cornucopia pours money into your life. What kind of work do you do?
I work as a counselor type, intuitive coach.
Well, people are going to want you. They're going to need you, and your phone is going to be ringing. And I think a large job is coming in, maybe to talk to a group. I'm not sure what it is, but it pays well, and you shouldn't be shy about asking for what you think is fair. But when you have money coming in, well, for a man particularly, now maybe I'm wrong about this, so you can correct me, but usually you're more optimistic, happy about life, and gives you more options of things to do, is to travel and to go out to eat and to just to have a little bit more fun. We've all been locked in the house, although during the pandemic, I became a really, really good, serious home cook. But so I used the time really well. And now my children are like, Mommy, keep cooking, No, I really became a good cook. And I always was a good cook, but I became even better. So, because I could experiment more. Where was I going? Nowhere. I was home. I also cleaned out closets. I did all kinds of things and wrote. I wrote. But, I think you have a better outlook the health part, was that COVID?
No. Insomnia. A lot of insomnia.
Oh, insomnia. You know what they say, when you have insomnia, just turn on the light and start reading or start doing crossword puzzles or do something, but don't toss and turn. Just turn on the light and just say, okay, I'm staying up, or watch TV, watch a show, and then you'll get tired. You will, it's just that your mind is moving and it needs something to eat. So
I hear Wordle is the next best thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wordle. So I'll get into that.
Wordle is good.
The new game online. So try that. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, Aquarius is ahead of all of us.
Yeah.
They are trendsetters. and they don't care what other people say about their performance. They say, well, I have my own yardstick for success. I don't need your opinion. And that's their success, because they're so confident and they are the sign of the future. So this new moon is going to have you committing to something serious and long-term, because Saturn's there. So it will be, strenuous to some degree, but could put your name in lights, because Saturn teaches us that the things we love the most in life are the ones we work the hardest to achieve. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, your outlook is good. You have a much better outlook this year. The last 2 years were hard for everyone, but those were different. A lot of those bad aspects have melted. So, and Pluto's heading into your sign for the first time in your life. It takes 248 years to go around the sun. And it's heading to Aquarius in 2024 for 20 years. So you're going to be the leader of the parade. People will be coming to you and asking for your advice. It's Aquarius that will set the tone.
Wow.
Now you have a future, actually. We're all going to be reading about you. So, wow, it's good. And when you give some thoughts to a client, you're so far ahead of them that they really need time to go home and think about it. And always say to them, don't say yes or no yet. Let it mull over and just sink in a little and think about it, because I know this is the right direction for you. But just think about it and don't say yes or no right now. And then they'll always come back and say yes, because Aquarius knows what's coming.
Beautiful. Yep.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Spencer. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, and let's jump off to now Melissa. She's calling it from the Kirkland area, along in Washington State as well. January of 22. Let me start over. I'll get this right here, people. January 22nd of 58. That's better. Melissa, sorry about that.
22nd. She's right on the cusp.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 8:12 p.m.
8:12 says too.
You know what it is, when we're doing a lot of callers, it's hard to do charts because it would take too much time. But do you know if you're an Aquarian or a Capricorn by the time?
Yeah, I know my chart very well.
Oh, good. What is it?
I have Virgo rising. My moon is in Pisces, and I'm definitely an Aquarian with Venus in Aquarius and Chiron in Aquarius, all in my 5th house, and my 4th house is Mercury.
Okay. And what was your question? You have Virgo rising and an Aquarian.
Yeah, my question is, it's been Spencer, it's been a really tough 2 years, and there was a medical, right when COVID started, I had a medical drama. But it's not really the medical, it's really family dynamics related to business, and all I want to know is if things will get a little bit lighter, because
much better. I'll tell you why. Your ruler is Aquarius, Uranus, and Uranus was square Saturn all last year. He made his last aspect on December 24th. So all year you were being challenged. It was funny. I write these calendars, which we're sold out on right now, but they're great because they tell you what's coming, for everybody. I don't write 12 calendars. I could never afford to to do that. But you had it hard. Last year was a year of challenge for everybody. And but for Aquarius a little bit more, because Saturn was squaring and poking at your ruler. Your ruling planet is the one that's supposed to take care of you, and he was under siege from Saturn. So that's why you had difficulties. Did you have any trouble with bones or teeth?
No.
Okay, good. Because you could have, or with the nerve problems, nerves, electrical in your body, which is hard, nerves that spark pain. No, this is going to be better. Now, Mars is going to be in different signs. Right now, it's in Capricorn. It's going to go in Aquarius in March. That's great. March, April, somewhere in there. You'll see when I write it on Astrology Zone. But what's really interesting is at the end of the year, get this, on August 20th, Mars goes into Gemini. Now, usually Mars will stay 6 weeks in a sign. That's its normal little journey. And that's like having 20 cups of coffee a day. I mean, when Mars is in a part of your chart, he really focuses you on that part of the chart. He's a high octane planet. He's a planet of action. Well, he's staying in 7 months in Gemini. Thank goodness it's a sign that blends beautifully with yours. And it's going to be in the house of love. Now, it starts August 20th and ends March 28th. Look at that, 7 months. But you say, well, why is he doing that? Because he goes retrograde in the middle. That's not great news, because it happens October 30th to January 12th. A lot of big companies put out products in anticipation of Christmas shopping. I think we're going to have supply chain problems at that time again. I think it's going to ease up now, but it's coming back. So we have to figure things out. A lot of companies are saying, I should be manufacturing those parts because I shouldn't have to wait for them to come in from a foreign country. But when Mars is retrograde, we reflect. Now, all this activity is happening in your house of love for Aquarius, and in your house of work for, no, not work. Sorry. Fame and honors. Oh my God, you have love and fame just like the other man. Oh my God, but for a different reason. Oh, your career is taking off like a rocket this year. Whoa, but you're going to need the fun and love, a companion, someone to have dinner with and to talk to, and just to get away from the work, because you're going to be working all that end of the year into 2023. But you're going to make a name for yourself. What kind of work do you do?
I'm in a family business. It's in real estate. It's all family, siblings.
Good. That's nice. Okay. Very good. You're going to be putting that business really on the map in a big way. If you want to get a publicity, you can, and your work will be appreciated and applauded.
Yeah. So I'm gonna interrupt just because we're short on time.
Yes.
And I do want to get one more caller very quickly. Thank you so much for calling in. My apologies for interruption. Get astrologyzone.com and really get connected with Susan, everybody. And let's take one more caller super quick.
Yeah, thanks, Melissa. And we want to welcome to the show Dennis. He's calling from Mukilteo, and his birthday, a lot of January babies, January of 13 of 63. So 1/13/63. Hey, Dennis, how's it going, buddy?
Doing good.
Well, Dennis, you're in the driver's seat these days. You've got Mars in your sign. You've got Venus in your sign. You're a lady killer.
Hey, all right.
Whoa.
Dennis, did you hear that, bud?
Magnetism to spare.
Tiger. Whoa.
and you've got Pluto and Mercury in your sign. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now I know your expenses have been high, but money's coming in later in the month. So don't worry about that. Maybe you're sending your taxes in. We all are. So maybe you're thinking, wait, somebody just vacuum cleaned my account. Don't worry about it. More is coming in. Don't worry. So what is your question?
I want to know, should I stay in Washington?
Should you stay in Washington, the state of Washington?
Yes. Yeah.
That's such a good question for a Capricorn. Mm-hmm. You're going to have Jupiter, the giver of gifts and luck, in your house of real estate from May 10th until October 30th. If you want to move this spring, it will happen. And you will find such a beautiful space. I don't know where you want to move. Are you moving to get better job opportunities, maybe? That's very possible, and you'd find them. But I guess you should look first before you go to make sure you have income. But the luckiest part of your chart, the best in 12 years, is Capricorn's real estate.
Oh, Benny, are you listening to that?
I
Benny?
totally am. Dennis, get your bags packed, son. You're on the move. We're not sure exactly when or where, but just be ready. I think that's what we're looking for.
It doesn't give me initials about where you go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Thanks for calling in.
You can fix up your present house if you choose to stay home.
Yeah.
You know, home is where the heart is this year.
Yeah. And Susan Miller, I'm going to ask the impossible. We've got 3 minutes or something. Is there some way that you can give to everyone listening something about 2022? You can. Yes. Okay, go for it.
All right. 2 signs have the best year of their life. Pisces and Aries. Pisces gets it first, then Aries jumps in the middle of the year. Pisces gets it again, November, December. This is the year to have your wish list ready. Okay. Taurus. Last year was a good career year. This year, you're making friends, and your friends will help you even in your work. It will help you in so many ways, and you'll get more followers on Facebook and Instagram and all the places, Twitter, that I am too. And it's fun to go on there. Gemini, we said it's the career. That's where I want you to focus, and then I want you to network from May on, okay? But you've got to really hit the ground running with your career. Cancer finally has relief. They've had a lot of difficult challenges. This year, you get help from foreign people, foreign places. Also from publishing and broadcasting companies, from college campuses, or going back to school to finish your degree or to start a master's, and also immigration, passport, visa, green card, all these glitter for you now. And legal matters tend to favor you. So you've got really a good thing going. Come May, your name goes in lights. You get what Gemini had, your fame and honors. Your boss can't believe how well you're doing. They want to give you a bigger title and more publicity and more money. You're going to have the whole package. I think you will travel. I don't know if it will happen early in the year or late in the year around Christmas, but I think you will take a long trip. Leo, your investments are going to start to pay off. And if you say, well, I don't have any stock. Hey, did you invest in your education? Did you invest in a house? Did you invest in a child? Whatever you invested in starts paying off in the first 4.5 months of this year. Then you get luck with publishing, broadcasting, and those type companies that the sign before you, Cancer, has. You know, foreign people, foreign places, and international relationships are fantastic. You may be working for someone you think is an American and actually he was born somewhere else. And that person's lucky for you. And for example, I got a call from Vogue Japan at that time when I had what you have. That was 15 years ago, and I'm still writing a monthly column for them and cover stories. Virgo, you have the best marriage aspects of anybody on the planet. You're going to make very good money this year too. And if you say, wait a minute, I'm already married, I don't want to get married again. You don't have to. your partner will do really, really well. And as a result, you'll both benefit. And oh gosh, your money is flowing in. And Virgos had a lot of surprises with money over the past few years, not good surprises. And you're like sick of it. Well, that all changes now, and the money starts flowing, and you almost can't believe it. It's really good. And if you don't want to get married again, you can use this as a business partnership, or you can hire an agent or something like that.
So I'm gonna move you forward. We have less than a minute, and if you could just, I know we're there.
Libra has the best health and fitness aspects, and also will get lots of work. Scorpio hit the jackpot with love. I mean, this is the year to circulate. Cupid is buzzing around with his little fleet of angels. We all want to be Scorpio. Sagittarius, it's real estate. It's getting the most beautiful house ever. I mean, just gorgeous house. And then you have love in the middle of the year. Capricorn, you have, you're getting more sophisticated with communication. You may be starting a podcast or an app or a column or writing a book or a screenplay. Whatever it is, the golden nuggets lie with communication. Aquarius, no tears on your pillow. Now that you've lost Jupiter in Aquarius, you're going to be making money hand over fist. It's money that you earn, not money you gamble or win. And I never believe in gambling anyway. I like controlling it. And you and Leo are like Mr. and Mrs. Moneybags, you know. So you're going to do really well. And as I said, Pisces, this is your year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cut in right there. Thank you so much, Susan Miller. Everybody, astrologyzone.com. Get her app. And Susan, from my heart to yours, oh my goodness, thank you for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you.
I loved it. Thank you, Benny.